Hi friends, very good morning to all of you. Now let us see the important editorial articles from Hindu's newspaper. Friends, the first one is a step that enhances cooperative federalism. The amendments to Government of National Capital Territory Delhi Act define without doubt who represents the government in the unique case of Delhi. Friends, this article appeared in yesterday's editorial, and this is about the recently passed GNCTD Act, and through this act the Lieutenant Governor of Delhi has been made the center of power in Delhi's administration. Friends, earlier we have seen arguments against this bill. Now through this article we will see how the government is uh, justifying the bill, and we can see the arguments for the bill here. Okay friends, here the author, the Honorable Minister of State for Home Affairs, has mentioned an incident how the Delhi government has agreed the Lieutenant Governor of Delhi is the represents the real government in the administrative structure of NCT Delhi. Okay friends, in June 2015, when the Legislative Assembly of Delhi had passed the Delhi Netaji Subhash University of Technology Bill and sent it for the President's assent, it had defined the term government as the government of the National Capital Territory of Delhi. Okay friends, so formalizes the definition. So here the bill tries to formalize the definition of government of Delhi. Okay friends, after the bill was written, which bill? This one, the Delhi Netaji Subhash University of Technology Bill. This was written by the Lieutenant Governor, uh, uh, mentioning some objections. Friends, after the bill was returned, the Delhi Assembly sent a modified version of the bill for the President's assent, where the definition of government was described as Governor of NCT Delhi appointed by the President. So friends, here the Delhi Legislative Assembly itself agreed that the government means Lieutenant Governor of NCT Delhi appointed by the President. So here the author is suggesting that the Delhi legislature itself agreed that the government in Delhi means Lieutenant Governor appointed by the President. Friends, last week both houses of parliament voted overwhelmingly in favor of the amendments of the Government of National Capital Territory of Delhi Act. So here the author says that it is overwhelmingly passed by the both houses of the parliament. So there should be no objection for the bill, because the honorable members of the parliament are democratically elected by the people of India. So when they pass a bill with overwhelming majority, there should be no objection. Friends, he further says the aim of the amendments were to clear such ambiguities in the roles of various stakeholders and to provide constructive rule-based framework for stakeholders within the government of Delhi. Friends, what are the ambitions of the bill? To clear ambiguities and to make clear the roles of various stakeholders, and also to provide a constructive rule based framework for all stakeholders. Okay friends, um, and also to work in tandem with the union government. Okay, the bill intends that the state government of Delhi should work in tandem with the union government. Okay friends, one of the changes made was to bring consistency in the definition of the term government. So one more aim of the bill was to bring a consistency about the definition of the term government. Friends, in this instance, the government was only formalizing the definition of a term that the excuse me, the Delhi Assembly itself had already accepted. So this is the argument of the Honorable Minister. Friends, he further says partners, not adversaries. He says the administrators of central as well as the states are partners and not adversaries. And here he gives the policy of the central government towards the states. Friends, the National Democratic Alliance government under the leadership of Prime Minister has completely transformed center-state relationships. After at the core of this transformation is the outlook that states and by extension of the chief ministers of the states are the partners in the national agenda. So the honorable prime minister has changed the outlook of the states by accepting chief ministers as the partners in the national agenda, and hence must have platforms and frameworks available to work together. So both the center and the states should have platforms and frameworks to work together. And he gives examples like in earlier governments we saw state chief ministers queuing up in front of unelected officials, excuse me, in the erstwhile planning commission supplicating for grants. So he mentions the example of planning commission, how the chief ministers made to queue before the planning commission for supplementary funds. Excuse me. Friends, with the creation of Niti Aayog, the establishment of Goods and Services Tax Council, the restructuring of central schemes, and accepting 15th Finance Commission's recommendations for greater devolution of are clear examples of the union government viewing states as equal partners. Friends, the creation of Niti Aayog and establishment of GST Council and acceptance of 15th Finance Commission's recommendations. These are all the examples of union government accepting states as equal partners. And he says making laws is a legislative right. So friends, this partnership requires an environment of trust and mutual cooperation. So this partnership requires mutual cooperation and an environment of trust. A necessary condition for such an environment is the distinct delineation of roles and responsibilities, the removal of ambiguities, and the definition of a clear chain of command among stakeholders. Friends, in this regard, it was important to define without doubt who represents the government in the unique case of Delhi. So friends, for all these purposes, it is essential that we should define who represents the government of Delhi in the unique case of Delhi. Friends, he further mentions on December 20, 1991, Home Minister S.B. Chavan tabled the Constitution Amendment Bill in the Lok Sabha to add Articles 239AA, 239AB into the Constitution that paved way for the creation of a Legislative Assembly and a Council of Ministers for National Capital Territory of Delhi. Friends, under Article 239AA, the Legislative Assembly has been created, and under Article 239AB, the Council of Ministers for NCT Delhi has been created. Friends, this amendment passed in 1991 empowers Parliament to enact laws supplementing the constitutional provisions. So here the Honorable Minister says that the Parliament has the power wherewithal to enact laws with reference to NCT of Delhi. Friends, it becomes important to ensure there is complete synchronization between Union government and the government of NCT Delhi, and there is no encroachment of legislative matters. So there should be complete synchronization between the union government and the government of NCT Delhi, and there should not be any encroachment of legislative powers. Friends, in the case of the government of NCT Delhi, it has no legislative competence in matters pertaining to police, public order, and land. Friends, this is very, very important. So, when it comes to the subjects like police, public order, and land, the NCT Delhi government or Delhi state legislature do not have powers to enact on these subjects. Friends, the risk of incremental encroachments, this word is very, very important. Incremental encroachments. Friends, the risk of incremental encroachments on these subjects in the legislative proposals under consideration of Delhi Legislative Assembly can have severe ramifications for Delhi. Friends, here we can understand that the alleged incremental encroachments on these forbidden subjects by the Delhi State Legislative Assembly prompted the central government or the parliament to enact the law in question, the bill in bring in the bill in question. So this seems the prime reason, main reason for the supposed bill. Friends, the national capital hosts the country's legislature, the seat of the union government, the judiciary, diplomatic missions, and other institutions of national importance. Okay, Delhi is the, we can say it is the face of the country. It deserves smooth functioning and cannot be subject to misadventures arising from ambiguities in the roles and responsibilities of its stakeholders. So it is the face of India. The Delhi is the face of India, and it is the seat of the union government. So because of all these reasons, there should be a smooth flowing administration in the NCT Delhi. A functioning relationship. Friends, making Delhi Assembly rules consistent with the rules of the Lok Sabha, or ensuring that the opinion of the Lieutenant Governor is taken, can only ensure clarity and foster an environment of cooperation. So friends, the Honorable Minister says that the bill only paves the way for smoother functioning of government in Delhi. Friends, in no matter do these amendments dilute or affect the powers of the Delhi Legislative Assembly. Further, the minister assures that the amendments will not dilute the powers of the Delhi Legislative Assembly. Various court judgments have also observed the ambiguities and the lack of clarity. So, in many judgments, the courts have mentioned about the ambiguities and the lack of clarity in the administration of Delhi. The people of Delhi deserve a functioning government, and the amendments made aid in creating such an environment. So the people of Delhi deserve a functioning government, and the minister assures that the amendments made aid in creating such environment. So friends, this is these are the arguments from the side of the government. So now you will get a broad and clear picture for and against the bill, so that if a question comes in the examination, you can present both sides and you can give your own conclusion. Friends, this is about the all about the Government of National Capital Territory Bill, Amendment Bill 2021. Friends, let us see the next article. It is still no recognition of the third tier. In the 15th Finance Commission proposals, the goal of fiscally empowering local governments to deliver territorial equity is still far away. Friends, this article also appeared in yesterday's newspaper, and this talks about the local governments, importance of local governments, and need for their fiscal independence or fiscal empowerment. Right, friends? The primary task of the Union Finance Commission is to rectify the vertical and horizontal imbalances. So friends, vertical and horizontal imbalances in the resources and expenditure responsibilities between union and states. So the primary task of the Union Finance Commission is to bridge the vertical and horizontal imbalances in resources between union and states, and also between the states. Friends, after the 73rd and 74th constitutional amendments, the responsibility also includes the third tier of local governments. So the vertical and horizontal imbalances should be bridged with respect to local governments also. Friends, this commission, that is the 15th Finance Commission, is the fifth after incorporation of part 9 and part 9A to the Constitution, which mandate Union Finance Commission to supplement the resources of panchayats and municipalities on the basis of the recommendations of the State Finance Commission. Friends, part 9 pertains to Panchayat Raj institutions, and part 9A pertains to municipalities, governance of municipalities. So the Union Finance Commission has the responsibility to supplement the resources for panchayats. Friends, now nearly 2.5 lakh local governments and over 3.4 million elected representatives form the real democratic base of the Indian federal polity. So because they are close to the um, people of the country, and they form the real representatives. Friends, the 15th Finance Commission was in the background of the COVID-19 pandemic, which reinforced the significance of the local governments, Gram Sabha, and other participatory institutions in containing the crisis and delivering social protection in India. So, the 15th Finance Commission has formed in the context of COVID-19, where the local governments have played an important role in containing the COVID-19 virus, and also in delivering the social protection in the hinterland India, in rural India. Okay friends, higher vertical devolution. Friends, as the time passed by, the allocations to local bodies has increased, that is mentioned here in this paragraph. Friends, the 15th Finance Commission has several positive aspects to be said in its favor. For one, the vertical devolution recommended to the local governments is raised remarkably high. So one positive thing about the 15th Commission is the devolution to local governments has increased very highly, from measly share of 0.78% of the divisible pool with an absolute sum of 10,000 crores by the 11th Commission. The 15th Finance Commission raised it to 4.23% with a reasonably estimated amount of 4,36,000 plus crore rupees. Friends, compared with the 14th Finance Commission, there is a 52% increase in the vertical share. Friends, this data is very important. While writing the mains answer, you can use this data to justify your arguments. Whatever arguments you are making, you can justify those arguments with the use of this data. Okay friends, all the commissions since the 11th commission have tied, friends, this is very important, the funds have been tied to the local governments. We further understand what is tied funds means. Friends, all the commissions since the 11th commission have tied specific items of the expenditure to local grants, and the 15th Finance Commission has raised the share to 60% and linked them to drinking water, rainwater harvesting, sanitation, and other national priorities in the spirit of cooperative federalism. Friends, tied funds means the local bodies will be given a target that they should achieve so and so targets in the arena of drinking water. then the funds will be released, and they have to achieve so and so criteria in the rainwater harvesting. They should fulfill some targets, then the funds tied to those, funds tied to those programs will be released. So this is the story or saga of the tide funds. Okay, the 15th Finance Commission has raised this quota of tide funds to 60%. Friends, in the context of local bodies, the tide funds are not encouraged or welcomed by the experts, because the tide nature of funds takes away the independence or autonomy of the local bodies to spend the funds for their desired effects. For the local needs, according to the local needs. Okay, friends. However, it reduced the performance based grants to just 8,000 crore rupees. So, performance based grants raised to, I mean, performance based grants reduced to just 8,000 crore rupees, and that too for building new cities, leaving out the Panchayat Raj institutions altogether. So, in the performance based grants arena, the low Panchayat Raj institutions have been left altogether. Okay, friends, the performance linked grants thoughtfully introduced by the 13th Finance Commission earmarked 35% of the local grants. So the 13th Finance Commission earmarked 35% of the local grants, specifying 6 conditions for panchayats and 9 for urban local governments, and covered a wide range of reforms. So those reforms include from establishment of independent ombudsman to notifying standards for service sectors such as drinking water and solid waste management. So here the author feels that the performance based grants are desirable in the context of local bodies, and unfortunately the 15th Finance Commission has reduced them drastically. Friends, further, the 14th Finance Commission, however, cut the performance grants share to 10% for Gram Panchayats and 20% to municipalities, with the conditionality that all local governments will have to show improvements in own source revenue. So friends, this is one more thing. The own source base for the local bodies is very pathetic in our country. When compared to other countries, it looks very bad. So for Panchayati Raj institutions, it is less than 1% of their total revenue, and for some municipalities, it is around 4 to 5%. So it is very dismal with respect to our country. Friends, municipalities are additionally required to publish service level benchmarks for basic services. So further, the municipalities are required to publish several benchmarks for basic services. The transformative potential in designing performance linked conditions for improving the quality of decentralized governance in the context of indifferent states is missed. Friends, here the transformative potential for different states has been missed. Okay. Now we'll see entry level criterion. An important recommendation of the 15th Finance Commission is the entry level criterion to avail the union local grant by local governments. So now the 15th Commission has prescribed an entry level criterion to avail the local grants by the local governments. Friends, for panchayats, the condition is online submission of annual accounts for the previous year and audited accounts for the year before. So now they have to file online, they have to submit online returns for their expenditure. Friends, for urban local bodies, two more conditions are specified. Those are, after 2021-2022, fixation of minimum floor per property tax rates by relevant states, followed by consistent improvement in the collection of property taxes in tandem with the state's own gross state domestic product. So the municipalities, the urban local bodies have to collect and increase their property tax collections. Friends, it is not clear why the Gram Panchayats, especially the affluent and semi-urban categories, are left out from this. So the property tax should be raised for municipalities, urban local bodies. But the author feels that while the Panchayat Raj institutions have been left out of this condition, it is not clear. Friends, although finance commissions from 11th to 14th have recommended measures to standardize the accounting system and update the auditing of accounts, the progress made has been halting. So in accounting and auditing, the progress has been not up to the mark. Therefore, the entry level criteria of the 15th finance commissions are timely. So this is desirable, because with this step, now the local bodies and the state governments might take steps to improve the accounting and auditing of the local bodies, panchayat raj institutions and urban local bodies. Friends, neither the 15th Finance Commission nor the earlier counterparts took pains to examine how and where the financial reporting system has failed. So the finance commissions are at fault that they did not try to find out the problem why the accounting and auditing system is not functioning with respect to local bodies. Friends, the 15th Finance Commission, which generally takes care to go into details and is well aware of India's regional heterogeneity, failed to carry policy choices forward systematically. Though the 15th Commission has understood the regional heterogeneity, it failed to carry policy choices forward systematically to address this heterogeneity. Friends, Article 243G, 243W and 243ZD, read along with the functional decentralization of basic services like drinking water, public health care, etc., mandated in the 11th and 12th schedules, demand better public services and delivery of economic development and social justice at the local level. So the local level bodies have several responsibilities. Those are along with the responsibilities included in the 243G, 243W and 243ZD. Public services like uh, drinking water, public health care. So they are responsible that they should fulfill the needs of the people with respect to these items. Friends, while the grants to the primary health centers must be acknowledged as a great gesture, a good opportunity to ensure comparable minimum public services to every citizen irrespective of her choice of residential location has not been taken forward in an integrated manner. So what the author feels is the different regions in our country have different needs and conditions also differ. So what is required is a diversified and region based, um, local area based planning. The finance commission have failed to take this policy forward. That is what the author feels. Friends, equalization principle. It may be relevant to recall that the Alma Ata Declaration of the World Health Organization 1978, which outlined and integrated local government centric approach with simultaneous focus on access to water, sanitation, shelter and the like. So the Alma Ata Declaration of WHO emphasized on the local centric approach. Friends, the 15th Finance Commission claims that it seeks to achieve the desirable objective of evenly balancing the union and the states. So this is the stated objective of the 15th Finance Commission. Friends, it is not clear why there is no recognition of the third tier in this balancing act. So here the balancing act mentioned only union and states. So the author feels that why the local governments have not been added here. Friends, although the 15th Finance Commission outlines 9 guiding principles as the basis of its recommendation to local governments, there is no integrated approach. So the 9 principles which it has chosen, there is no integrated approach in them. Okay friends, it is forgotten that public finance is an integrated whole. The tasks of Union Finance Commission were broadened as part of the decentralization reforms. Those are under Articles 283 BB and C, is a firm recognition of the organic link of public finances with the development process at all tiers of the government. So the 15th Finance Commission has the finance commissions have a great role and responsibility in bringing in a holistic and balanced policy and decentralized reforms, but the 15th Finance Commission has failed to do that. Okay friends, although the 15th Finance Commission stresses the need to implement the equalization principle, it is virtually silent when it comes to the local governments. So the 15th Finance Commission has ignored the local governments in the equalization principle. Friends, it is equally important to note that the criteria used by the 15th Finance Commission for determining the distribution of grants to states for local governments, it employed population 2011 census with 90% and area 10% weightage, the same criterion followed by the 14th Finance Commission. So in the 15th Finance Commission calculations, 90% weightage is given to population and 10% weightage is given to area. The same criteria is being was followed by the 14th Finance Commission. Friends, while this ensures continuity, equity and efficiency criteria are sidelined. Though it ensures continuity, taking those measures, it sidelines the equity and efficiency criterion. Friends, equity is the foundational rations of a federation. So equity is the foundational rational of a federation. Abandoning tax effort criterion incentivizes dependency, inefficiency, and non-accountability. So the tax efforts of the local governments should be given proper importance. Friends, if decentralization is meant to empower the local people, the primary task is to fiscally empower local governments to deliver territorial equity. So the bottom line is we have to fiscally empower the local governments by way of giving more grants to them and also by focusing on increasing their own tax collections. Then only we can change the face of the local governments and the hinterland India. We can change the face of the hinterland India. Friends, this is all about today's editorials. Thank you for joining me. See you next time. Have a good day.